Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. In our super fast paced, modern world, it feels like our minds are constantly buzzing. So today, we're going to slow things down a bit. We're going to explore a really simple but incredibly powerful ancient technique that can help us all think with a lot more clarity. All right, let's jump right in.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever wished you could just think more clearly? Or really, truly get to the root of a problem? I mean, we've all been there, right? You're staring down a tough decision, and the answer just feels foggy. It's like it's buried under this huge pile of what ifs and assumptions. It's a feeling I think every single one of us can relate to. And you know what? That feeling often comes from one core issue. So often, we just run on autopilot. We accept the very first answer that pops into our head without a second thought. And that habit, well, it's what holds us back. It keeps us from digging deeper and finding the real truths, whether we're talking about a problem at work, a personal issue, or just trying to make sense of the world. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to dive into what's called the Socratic Method. First, we'll look at the ancient art of questioning. Then, we'll talk about why questions improve your life. After that, I'll walk you through a practical 6-step guide. And finally, we'll look at putting the method to practice. Sound good? All right, first up, the ancient art of questioning. So what exactly is the Socratic Method? To answer that, we have to go way back to ancient Greece, to a philosopher named Socrates. Now, this guy was a real game changer. He had this revolutionary way of thinking that wasn't about shouting answers from a mountaintop, but about asking really good questions. So, at its heart, the Socratic Method is a cooperative dialogue. It's all about using questions to get you thinking critically and to uncover the beliefs that are hiding under the surface. And the key word there is cooperative. This isn't about one person trying to win an argument or prove the other person wrong. It's about working together to find the truth. In fact, Socrates had this amazing analogy for it. He saw himself as an intellectual midwife. His job wasn't to give people ideas, but to help them give birth to their own ideas. Pretty cool, right? And this all starts from a place that Socrates summed up perfectly. He said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Now, what does that really mean? It's about intellectual humility. It's having the honesty to say, hey, maybe I don't have this all figured out. Because that moment, that admission, that's the key that unlocks the door to real, genuine discovery. Now, there's a fancy scholarly term for this process of cross-examination. It's called elenchus. I know, it sounds a little academic, but the idea is actually super simple. Think of it as the engine that powers the whole method. It's that back and forth questioning that basically holds up a mirror to our own thoughts. It helps us see the little cracks, the inconsistencies in our own logic that we might have missed otherwise. Okay, so we're talking about a technique that's what? Over 2,000 years old? So the big question is, why should we care? Why does this ancient method matter in our crazy modern lives? Well, it turns out the benefits are more relevant today than ever. Let's talk about the everyday benefits of this Socratic style of inquiry. First off, it helps you achieve a much deeper understanding of, well, pretty much anything. It pushes you past the simple what questions and gets you into the much more powerful why questions. And when you do that, you naturally start a journey of self-discovery. This, in turn, helps you make better, more reasoned decisions. It even makes you a better communicator because you're moving away from just reacting emotionally and toward a place of shared understanding. And of course, tying it all together is that big one. It helps you cultivate that intellectual humility we talked about, that constant reminder that there's always more to learn. All right, let's get practical. This is the part where we take all this ancient philosophy and turn it into a tool you can literally start using today. So let's walk through a simple 6-step guide for how to use this method on your own. Okay, let's use a super relatable example to see how this works. Let's take the problem, why am I always so tired? So, step 1, identify the question. We've got it. Why am I always tired? Step 2, propose an initial answer or belief. The first thing that comes to mind might be, well, it's because I work such long hours. Okay, now step 3, ask probing questions to really test that belief. You might ask yourself, does everyone who works long hours feel this tired? Are there other things that could be at play, like my diet or how well I'm actually sleeping? This leads us right to step 4. Examine the consequences of your initial belief. If it were only the long hours, then getting more sleep on the weekend shouldn't really make a difference. But wait, it does. So that initial idea doesn't quite hold up. So now we're at step 5. Revise or refine your belief. A better answer might be, okay, my long hours are part of it, but my poor sleep habits are probably a much bigger factor. See, it's a more nuanced answer. And finally, step 6 is just to repeat the process. You can take that new belief and start questioning it all over again to get even closer to the real root of the problem.
And here's the most important thing to remember through all of this. The goal is to get closer to the truth. It's not about winning an argument, especially not with yourself. It's not about defending your first idea no matter what. It's actually about being brave enough to challenge your own assumptions and being flexible enough to change your mind when you find a piece of evidence that doesn't fit.
Okay, so we have the 6-step framework. Now, let's put this method to the test and see how it works in a couple of common, real-world scenarios that you might actually run into.
Let's say you're in a conflict with a friend. It's so easy to just react emotionally, right? But what if you paused for a second and asked yourself some Socratic questions? Like, why am I truly upset right now? Am I reacting to what my friend actually said, or am I reacting to an assumption I'm making about their intentions? Wow, just asking that can completely change the dynamic. It can de-escalate the tension and open the door for a real, productive conversation instead of just a fight.
Or how about a huge career decision? It's so tempting to just focus on the easy stuff, like the salary. But if you use this method, you push yourself to go deeper. You ask, okay, beyond the paycheck, what do I really value? And what actual evidence do I have, not just wishful thinking, that this new job is actually going to deliver on those values? Asking these questions helps you make sure that the big decisions you make in life are truly 100% your own.
Okay, as we get ready to wrap this up, let's just quickly go over the key takeaways. First, and this is the big one, always question your initial assumptions. That's almost always where the deeper truths are hiding. Second, use that 6-step process we walked through. It's a fantastic, reliable way to structure your thinking. And third, always remember to embrace that idea of intellectual humility. This is a search for truth, not a debate you have to win. So all of this leaves us with one final, really important question that's just for you. How might you start applying Socratic questioning in your own life, starting today? Because this isn't just some dusty old philosophical idea, right? It's a real, practical tool you can use to live a more thoughtful, examined life. So give it some thought. What's one area, just one, where you could use this to find a little more clarity right now? Thanks so much for watching.